You are here.
Is it? Okay.
I'm recording. Hello, world. Come on. Hello, world. I'm here. Come on. I'm here with a video. While I walk to the store. What would normally people do when you have smear campaign against you, about you as well, because they both go the same, it's the same thing, because in order for it to be against you, it has to be about you. All right, what would normal people do? Because listen, this is not just smear camping. This is more than that. It's like someone assassinates you and you're just walking. You are alive, but it's like you're dead. No one sees you. No one have pity for you. No one have mercy. No one. And I mean no one, not even one out of the 8 billion. Because even the one that claim to love, it is by word, not action. Come on. Therefore, no one out of the 8.6 billion, if I remember well. I don't count it. I don't care how many really. Care for you. And it's like they don't care about you. They don't care about your children. Really. And when you go to the Bible and you read all the books, the only sum that matches what you're feeling and what you're experiencing is Psalm 109. Now, having people care for you, that's not what really matters, because I never really care about people's approbation. I never really care about what people think of me or what I do. This is why my sister Claire was always called me a Poolyanist. A Poolyanist is someone who don't give a crap about nothing. They just live life. So that's my case since I was a child. Why God bring forth a child into the world to live the life that I live? I don't find it fair at all. Because a child who never opened a mouth to nobody, who never, not even one day, argue with a sibling, and for everybody to rise against that child, it's really unexplainable. You can't really understand it. But if you can't explain it, how can anybody else understand it? You see my point? And if it weren't gonna be possible to actually meet someone, why would God put you two together? God already knew the other party would care about how he is meeting somebody. Why would he put you two together? First of all, we're not from the same class. I'm not from his class, he's not from mine. And it's not only because of money. It's many other aspects, morals, quality, integrity might come after later on in life. But I'm talking about from growing up. Because I remember when I used to help other people, I never let them tell me their problem. It's always listen to what they complain about, and then I say, okay, how much do you think this might cost? How much? And if it says, for instance, I'll say 1,000. If I feel to say $500, would that help? Now, when you say $500, would it help? There is another complaint that's gonna come after it. The individual might say, well, I don't have, I will take 500, but I'm not sure how I'm gonna collect the rest 500. Do you know I pull out the whole $1,000 and give to the person to make sure the problem is solved? The former pastor of the church I used to go, the very last church, his wife was in Nigeria, and he told me that the woman had a visa already. All he's short of is the plane ticket. I asked him, how much is the plane ticket? He told me about, it's about 16 or 1700. I don't remember well, but it's over 1500. Then I said to him, how much do you have already? I asked the right questions. How much do you have? Well, we collecting among sisters in the church. They promised 500. Then I'm like, in my mind, if it's over 1500, then they promised to collect 500 for him. So he's gonna be short over $1,000. Then do you know what I said to the pastor? I said, listen, this is what I can do. Collect whatever you can collect from the church. Let me know what you're missing. And then next Sunday when I come, I will come with that amount for you. On Friday, I text him and I asked him if he were able to collect what was supposed to be collected. He said yes. They collected it. It wasn't even $500. It was below 500. So I would say it was about probably 449 or 59. Yeah, no, we turn in right here. Oh, we can turn on the other one. Okay, come. Yeah, sorry. When I'm on the street, my second son is always with me. Because of too many people are always after me, staring at me and things like that. Okay, so let's continue because this is very important. Because I am not understanding certain things, because when you are helping, you're helping. When you, I will come to the point. Okay, so when he told me that he collected about 449 or 59, I don't remember which one. I'm not gonna select because I don't wanna lie. I'm like, okay, so when you take this out of the total that you need, how much do you need left? It was almost $1,200. I said, okay, because my paycheck is always, it's either it's $5,000 or it's very close to $5,000 for the 2 weeks, because I got paid every 2 weeks. That at that time I was doing only one job. So I said, don't worry. On Sunday, I will be coming with that amount. So before I went to church, I went to my bank that I used to deal with Wells Fargo, because I used to work for Wachovia Bank before I went for medical field. I used to do check processing for Wachovia Bank. All right, so on Sunday, I went to Wells Fargo to the ATM for some reason. I don't remember. I couldn't go to the church with the money. But I remember I went back to the bank and then I took an envelope. You know, they have the envelope at the drive-thru. I withdrew $1,200 Not only I withdrew $1,200, the check was almost 5,000, and I gave 500 for my tithe, because giving and helping cannot affect my tithes. So I give my $500 tithe, and then I withdraw the $1,200 for the pastor. And I put his money separate in an envelope. And after church, I entered the office nicely, respectively. I don't disrespect because I'm helping, and I don't enter because I have right because I'm helping. I don't do that. I just entered the desk, the office, and I asked him, I have what we talked about. And he said, you do? I said, yes. And I handed him the envelope. When I handed him the envelope, I handed him the envelope of $1,200. He says, thank you. And then he took it. Do you know that I don't talk about that only if I am testifying, or only if I come to a point where I have to mention it? Probably to him again, because my mom went to him and says that I talk about what I have given him, which I didn't do. Listen. Yeah, it's hot. I know. So when I give the money to the pastor, in my mind, I go to the church. The pastor is here, like right here, like it's like he's single, and he has a wife in his country. And you know, when a man is not having sex, what that can do into a church. So I didn't want to go to a church that would deal with any vacuum or scandals of things like that. I said, let's bring his wife over in order to know that the church goes well. The next Sunday, his wife was in the church. The next Sunday, his wife was in the church. When his wife was in the church, we say hello. I didn't go to her like because I help, like I have the right to the wife and like friends. I salute her just as a church member. Hi, sister so and so. How you doing? It's good to see you. I saluted her as if I am just a simple member of the church. And I was more than a member, because I used to do the IT. Doing the IT was what? I projected the Psalms, the Bible verses. I projected the hymns that they're gonna sing. Everything that they want to for the church, I projected, and I do the IT on the computer, because I was kind of good in computers. I will troubleshoot it, and I am able to fix it. The phone might die because it's overheated on the sun. It says it's overheated. All the pastor's wife witness is that every Saturday, every Friday, the pastor and we talk, because he has to send me information for me to prepare my slides. And then on Sunday morning, he will call and know if I'm coming on time, right on time, or because I used to live 2 hours away from the church. I used to live in Gainesville, Florida, and the church was in Orlando, Florida. So you see, I was not getting paid for the IT work. And then when the church needs help, I don't mind giving 1,000. I don't mind giving 500,000. So when you see people are blocking my blessings, they actually denying me of what I have done to people. I used to work for a lab called IDEX. IDEX is a animal lab, because I used to process dogs, any kind of animal tissue. At that time, every 2 weeks I got paid about $3,000 something. That was in North Grafton, Massachusetts. Do you know, every time I get paid in that place, I take a bunch of roll of quarters. When I leave that big, my pocketbook is always so heavy, and one of the handle, I believe, broke. Full of roll of quarters. Because I didn't want to give people $2, $3, $5. At that time, $10 could give somebody a good McDonald's meal and still have a $2 or $3 left. So So I would drive. When I'm driving, the people that are on the sidewalks or in the median would be standing with homeless sign. Then I open my pocketbook, I take a roll of quarter and hand to them. I don't look at the face to say if I gave the other day, if I gave yesterday. I don't care. The day is another day. I just open my pocketbook and give another until the ones that I have taken from the bank are gone. So every 2 weeks I got paid, I do the same thing. So when you see people blocking my blessings, they actually denying me of what I have done to others. A young man at a gas station. I have already helped other people, and I have already paid. He tries to sell me a LED lamp, light, let's say light bulbs for headlights in a car. The fun, the fun is overheated. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can block it, because the important is the message. So when he offered to sell me the light, I wanted to ask him where he got it from, but I didn't want to insult him because he might have taken it for insult. I didn't ask him. I asked him for the price. He said this price or that price. And I said, why do you need the money? Just like this. Why do you need the money? He said he has children at home and that he needs to go and get and prepare something for them, if I remember well. Then I look at him and I said, listen, I cannot buy the light bulbs, but I'll give you something. I had $30 left. $30 that I had left for the week in case I need something. As I was leaving the gas station, then I look at my daughter. I said, I gave you $20 to hold for me. Where is it? It was $10. And she said, I have it, mommy. And I said, let me get it. Because I wanted now for my daughter to give a $20 and then we would keep the $10. Now I took the $20, the $10 for my daughter. And I said, the $10, keep it, make sure you keep it, and then hand the $20 to the gentleman out there right here. Call him. My daughter called the guy. My daughter put the $10 along with the $20 and hand the whole $20 to the gentleman. And he said, oh, thank you. First, I didn't buy the LED lights because I didn't want to buy stolen items. And if he needs money to feed the children for real, I must provide. Because in the Bible it is said, you ask, you shall receive. You knock, a door shall open. That's what God said. Jesus said. So, my daughter handed the whole $30. When I asked her, she said, Mom, I give him the 20 and the $10. Then I'm like, why would you do that? I told you give the $20, just like this. And then she looked at me and said, I don't know, I'm sorry. I said, oh, it's okay. Maybe we must have given the whole thing. That's why that happens like this. I was not mad. And then we just spend the rest of the week just like this without nothing. We make sure we deal with what we already go buy grocery, because grocery we were never short of grocery. I would buy $700 grocery, and then the next few days I'll bring another $200. I was never broke. The only thing is that the way I was helping people used to keep me from paying my light bills. That's the only problem I had at that time. It was not because I wasn't able, because I was not calculating I was not budgeting. So that was my issue, nobody's issue. All right. Again, when I say, when you see people blocking my blessings, they actually denying me of what I have done toward others. Someone I met at the Baji, don't know, but for some reason I asked him for his phone number. I like when I meet people that speak French, so I can practice French with them. It's right there, baby, yes. So once somebody speaks French, it's like something in me kind of beats, I don't know. Because I love meeting people from Haiti that manage to remember the language and don't forget it. The same way I manage not to forget it completely. To me, it's a Amos. I'm like, okay. I asked him for his phone number so I could practice French and don't forget. Because certain terms I don't use for so long, I don't remember them. And when people mention them, I'll be like, oh, c'est quoi ça encore? Meaning, what is that again? What does that mean again? Okay, so I asked him for his phone number. It turns out that the guy doesn't have it, he just have a number and a phone, no service. Because he has to be in a spot where there is a Wi-Fi in order to answer. But I didn't want to call him the next week. I met him on a Saturday on my mother's birthday. This is so much bad for me because every bad thing that happens to me on December 14, my mother's birthday. Let's get some air here, baby. Hold on. My phone is hot. Hold on. Get the heat cool. Yeah. Huh? Oh, okay. I'm here. Good. All right. So when I talk about this guy before, when I took his phone number, I had just completely, said to my ex-husband that we no more going back and forth. I was completely done. That was on November 6th of 2019. I was not ready for no relationship. That was not in my head. But for some reason, Sunday passed. I didn't call. On Tuesday, for some reason, as I am getting to go outside my room, something come to my mind, and then I took the phone to call my ex-husband, and then I ended up dialing the phone number of that gentleman. Let me repeat. I got up took my phone to call with my mind. I know I'm gonna call my ex-husband, and then I ended up dialing the number of the gentleman that I didn't have in my mind to call. I took the phone number to practice French language, not to be friend like this. On Tuesday I called. On Wednesday, now we ended up calling back and forth because he was stuck somewhere because of snow at work, because he works at the HHA, which is a kind of classic maid. That's what it is to me. HHA is a classic maid kind of job. So I was like, I didn't mean to call you. For some reason, I dialed the number, and it was because I was calling my ex. He said ex, and then he asked me question, how did he ended up being ex? Well, we were completely different. We've been together for almost 2 decades, and I think it was time for me to say goodbye. He was now interested. Now I'm single. Then now on Wednesday, he called. On Thursday, do you know I ended up saying je t'aime to the gentleman? I don't know how it happened. Seriously, on Thursday, I ended up saying je t'aime. I said je t'aime, and then I kind of, and I'm like, okay, then I act like nothing happened. Then later, after I finished talking to him, I go and analyze what's going on. Until 2 months later, I I fell on a notebook. In his notebook, there was a ritual of go and meet people that has you know certain type of living. So someone well accomplished like me with 8 trades and working in one with a license, professional license, and I can make $5,000 in a week. I can make $14,000 in 2 weeks. For my class, that's good, good over good than many people. Okay, then I don't ask him question about the ritual. I was like, it's already happened. Let me just see what happens to the gentleman ended up having a girlfriend and didn't talk about because the girlfriend went to Haiti. So while the girlfriend went to Haiti, then that's how he ended up being with me. Later on, the two of them started to disrespect me because the lady knows that the man is not here for love. The man had already gotten paid $10,000 to get rid of me with magic. Let me stop here because I have to go into the store. I am at the store now. I will come back with the end of the story. It is very, very hot. It is very, very hot.